What's up? This is Peanut Butter Wolf from Stone Star Records, and you're watching Crate Diggers. So I just moved into this house and wanted to try to get the majority of my records in one room. You know, I do have a lot upstairs in that room and some at the office as well, but these are all being here. And I guess this is around 15,000, I think. I can't have them all in the same area, you know, and that bothers me. Like before I had half of them in one room and then half of them in my garage. So I'm trying to like get rid of a lot of records, but that's hard too. I can't get rid of anything. So moving's the most difficult thing. You know, we had a moving company and I kind of warned them about all my records and they said, oh, you know, we can get it all done in one day. And they brought 5 guys out and by about 4 p.m., you know, they had to call and get another truck and more people. And, you know, that's when you realize, like, you have too much crap, you know? This Throbbing Gristle United, 1978. Yeah, these are just completely unorganized right now. Yeah, this PIL album, I got this in around 86. I think this is where Jeff got the idea for the Doom, the metal box, the Doom record we did. I don't know, like, his voice is kind of annoying and grating, but just musically it was really great to me. I remember I would wake up Saturday morning for cartoons. They would play this thing with What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, and it was kind of like a anti-war protest thing. I just remember really liking that song and, you know, wanting to know more about that kind of music and stuff, I guess. But then in 2nd grade, I had a teacher, Mr. Bowman, who was really into disco and soul and funk, and every Friday he let us listen to music with headphones. And yeah, that's still a memory that I hold on to. And I started buying my own records really when I was 9 years old. In 1979, I was buying 45s like whenever I could. I would save my lunch money, and it's the same story a lot of people my age have, you know, like they were not eating and they were just buying records instead, basically. And I was really into a lot of video games and baseball cards, but the video games and baseball cards I kind of outgrew, and the records I never did. Now the records are outgrowing me. You know, I got my first mixer in 1984 for my 14th birthday. I had a turntable. I basically hijacked my parents' turntable, and then I got a second turntable. Rocket was out, and I started scratching and, you know, Kraftwerk and all that stuff. So, and then I would make mixtapes, and I still have all my old mixtapes and stuff from back then as well. Like, I have the first tape I made when I got my equipment scratching. I guess I wouldn't think I would be doing this 16 years later. I wouldn't think I would be still going to record stores and still excited about it, you know. I still get that rush when I'm in a record store. And I have to look at every single record there, you know. I think that happened with that Val Shively record store in Philly. Jazzy Jeff was telling me about that one. And the guy there, he's an older guy I think he's had the store probably since the doo-wop era. And it has 4 million 45s, you know. I got there like when it was close to closing. I didn't know what I was in for, and at first he didn't really even want to let me in or something, and then I name dropped Jazzy Jeff. He's all, come right in, you know. That was a store where I had to come back a couple more days too, you know. The Schoolie D, this was like from 86 or 85, 86-ish. Schoolie D, like, he's still somebody that I look forward to meeting. And actually, I did meet him one time, but I didn't know it was him until afterwards. And someone told me, I'm like, oh, great. God has a sense of humor. Well, usually I dig when I'm out of town, or if I'm, it's more like when I dig in LA, it's more if I'm like taking someone to a record store, like, you know, Q-Tip called me when he was in LA. He's like, hey, you want to go digging, you know, so it's more of a social thing almost, but The last house that I lived at, I lost thousands of records to mold, and they were ones that, you know, that I did have boxed up, so technically I guess they weren't like my cream of the crop ones at least, but it just sucks to like have to throw that many records away, you know. The most money I spent on records at one time was about $3,000, I think, but you know, I don't really, like a lot of people, they'll, not a lot, but like some collectors, they'll spend like $1,500 on 145 and not think twice about it, but I don't really, I don't know, I feel weird about doing that. I feel like that's just doing way too much, you know. The most I'll spend on a record is like $100 or $200. I think I've spent a few times on a record, but most of the time it's like 5, 10. This actually, I bought this when it came out. Problems of the World, I really like that music video. F4000 was kind of like the vocoder, pop lock, breakdancing song. De La Soul eventually used it for the song Saturdays later. But, you know, this was a record I bought then, and like still, like it's pretty easy to find, this one as well. You know, these were records that kind of shaped who I am. And whenever I see them, I'll buy, you know, multiple copies. I've never really been one to talk about music or describe it. I'm more into just playing it and sharing it with people that way, you know, like maybe I should make you guys a mix and you can play it with it or something. Oh, this wasn't the one I was looking for. No, I could never dance. And I could never rap, so I just DJ'd. And I could never draw. This is what I call a two-sider. Both sides are really good. California Curl, California Girl. So it's about a girl with a jerry curl that lived in California. These are the records that got me into mixing too. These Big Apple mix, they were like bootlegs that came out in the early 80s, were like DJ mixes. I definitely have a disorder. You know, it's an addiction, and I'm glad I'm glad that this is my drug and not, you know, something else that could, I'm glad it's not something that could make me an angry, horrible, mean person.